Finally, the most important part is your mindset and how you think about things. Okay, so the first, for this context, well, applying it back to sports, right? There are multiple people, like you think about the NFL, the NBA, whatever, there's multiple people who have very similar athletic ability, right? Michael Jordan isn't, like, he's kind of a freak athlete, but there are other people who were as good athletes as Michael Jordan. Not very many, but there are a few. But were they as good at basketball players? Were they as good at competitors? Like, the difference between him and other people was not necessarily his athletic ability. It was his, like, how he thought about himself, how he thought about his team, and the games were usually won before they even got on the court, because he had already defeated people in their, right? They had already lost in their head. And so that is the mental side of things. If we're talking about lethal force confrontations, a first, like, primary question would be, are there people in this world that need to be hurt or killed? Right? And if your answer to that is no, then we've kind of already made the decision, and this is probably not the right time or place for you. Okay, so you need to work through that mental model and that thought process in your mind. If you don't believe that it is morally right to hurt somebody else or kill somebody under certain circumstances, then it's probably not, like, this is just a weird academic thing for you, right? So first you got to come to terms with that. And then you have to, so you say, okay, yes, I think there are people that need to be hurt or killed. Now the question is, under what circumstances are you willing to do that? Right? So you might have, there's lots of people out there that say, yes, but I'm not interested in that. So you have to decide for yourself, under what circumstances are you willing to do that? And if you're not willing to do that, again, this is just a fun little academic exercise and not really practical. So if you're willing to do that, right, you got to think about, like, are you willing to do that and make the sacrifices necessary just for yourself, for you and your family, for you and your friends, for you and your community, for you and your country? Like, there's different people are going to, like, they're signing their own social contracts, right? And they're saying, hey, for me and these group of people, I'm willing to sacrifice myself and my time and my energy and my money and all of the things, because I believe the safety of people is important enough. So like someone in the military who's in a combat arms role signs a certain social contract, right? I mean, signs a bigger contract than that, but basically they're just saying, I'm willing to go do a thing. Same thing with, like, a police officer, right? A police officer is saying, I'm willing to put myself in harm's way to protect not just myself and my family and my friends, but my community in general, right? And that's why we all get outraged when we see something like the Uvalde police situation, right? Because we, in our minds, they signed up for this thing, and some of those people failed to act, right? And that is completely unacceptable, right? Because we're thinking, when we call, we expect you to do a thing. But you have to decide that for yourself, right? So if you decided, I'm going to carry a gun, right? So under what circumstances are you willing to do something?